So, you got put into AP Seminar, and either if you personally chose this class or if you were forced into it, you're in here. I'm Azor. I survived through AP Seminar, and let me try and guide you through what can be hell. First of all, analyze yourself. Do you really enjoy writing? Not the fun kind of writing where you can write about fantasy characters or about your two favorite characters kissing each other. I'm talking about academic writing. Stuff about a certain topic that you might not be interested in, or those long essays you just gotta push yourself through and not use AI. You can't use AI in this class. If that isn't your thing, then you can take this class, but it would probably be pretty grueling for you. And another thing, do you like being in groups? How are groups with people that you might not know at all, at least for a little bit? Do you like group projects? Are you willing to work in a group project contributing something? If you have said no so far, then you might have to consider whether or not AP Seminar might be for you. For those who are still interested, let me describe each part that you have to survive through the school year. First of all, there's a big group project for the first part, but it isn't initially group focused. Even though you have to pick out the topic with your group and run with it, after picking out the lenses, it's mostly on your own for a good chunk of the part. That's where the IRR comes in. You have to research about the certain lens that you chose that isn't any duplicate in your group, about the certain topic that you chose. And for example, my group chose to write about the issues concerning social media and young girls. And I specifically chose to write from a perspective focusing on the mental aspects and the effect of those mental aspects. I don't really remember having a clear lens because Dvorak was very lenient on it and just wanted to get our point across. But I'm not too sure if that is the case for anyone else watching this video. For the IRR, you have to gather some evidence, preferably like 10 or more sources, more or less, more the merrier. And then synthesize the perspectives into an easy-to-read 1,200-word essay that allows you to portray the issue and the solutions that you research. Now note, there is a 10% leeway on the words, so if you get at least 1,080 words, you're set. Or if you go a little bit crazy, you could have up to 1,320, but you don't have to hit that mark. But this is overall pretty simple, considering this is like an AP class. The hard part, I'd say, the after is where it gets a little bit harder, though. You remember that group that you had that chose out the topic and you got the lens? Now you have to find ways to synthesize your ideas with theirs and find a common solution among all of the evidence that you all wrote about. Then, after that, you have to create a group presentation including slides that shouldn't have the entire script on them. You have to organize and rehearse. Trust me, rehearsal is super important. And after all of that, you finally present to the class, and the terror is halfway done. Now, I'm cutting myself off of here because I want to try and give you a few tips and tricks on the first half of this year. Overall, I'd recommend getting into a group with people whom you know at least a little bit. And for the IRR, I recommend using shorter articles that condense important information. The essay portion was a little tough, but I did keep a website with transition words handy, and I tried to lock in with a lot of caffeine running through my system. And for the TMP, always do your best to connect with the group whenever you can to rehearse. While rehearsing just once or twice is fine, doing it more and more is always beneficial. And be confident. Even if you haven't rehearsed that much, believe in yourself and instill trust in your ability to do this. One thing that always helped me with my anxiety surrounding presenting is that everybody else has to do it too, so you're not alone. Now, after winter break, you are going to have to deal with the second part, the IWA, and the IMP. Now, this part is similar to the first, except you can't choose your own topic. It was kind of sad because I thought you could. But instead, you have to consolidate a research question from 2 or more sources from a select list of stimulus sources. After forming the research question, you then have to research more on the topic that you formed and write an essay on the information that you gathered, which includes your own perspective and conclusion on the matter. Now, I recommend skimming all of the stimulus sources and taking notes of the key topics the authors write about. I also recommend writing your research question personalized to you and your interests, as I was initially going to write about something politics related, even if I'm not really interested in politics. But after I got highly engaged with dementia and the fact that there was a nostalgia-based therapy called reminiscence therapy, I was a million times more interested in writing the IWA simply because there were psychological aspects about it. Now, again, do so much research. I gathered so many sources, and even though I didn't use like half of them, it's still good to have more than needed rather than to be short on a few. Another thing is the word count is 2,000 words, but they still have that 10% leeway, so you can write 1,800, or if you're feeling crazy again, 2,200 words. After that, they're just gonna cut you off. Now, for the dreaded self-presentation, the IMP. Now, all of the things that I said about the previous presentation, the TMP, all apply here. Do as much as you can to rehearse. Don't go up there without any sort of outline of what you may say. Like, I had postcards. I didn't rehearse, but I had postcards and I willed myself through it. And the slides don't even need to look that pretty. All you gotta do is just make it look nice and presentable. The only thing that really matters here is the actual act of presenting. And again, if all else fails, remember that everybody else in your classroom has to do the same thing. Always remember to have that little bit of confidence in you, and remember that you can do this if you put your mind to it. Now, this very last part is very specific to my classroom, so there are some unwritten rules in Dvorak's Dungeon, I would say. The one on top of the list is don't go on your phone. I know it is tempting to go on your phone, and I know it's actually written everywhere, but do not go on your phone. Even if you do, you're taking away valuable work time. You could be working on that IMP, that IWA, whatever. You want that extra work time, even if you feel like procrastinating. You don't want to do any of this after school, please. You should also be super prepared for all of the old man whimsy this guy has. He is full of it. It's like intoxicating sometimes, but I personally like it. I don't know if you would like it. He's just very nice in general. But do not be fooled by his demeanor. He is actually a centuries-old wizard who takes the happiness and whimsy out of you to fuel his own. And in conclusion, I mean, apparently the AP seminar exam isn't recommended. I didn't take it, so I wouldn't really know. So take this with a grain of salt. I feel like he's just gonna pause it and like be like, oh yeah, just don't take it. And I hope that this survival guide has prepared your mind for the jungle that is AP seminar. I wish you the absolute best of luck for those who decide to take the class after looking at this video. You can really do it if you put your mind to it and do your best. I am very sorry if the audio in here is actually really bad or rushed. It might be because it is, because I'm doing this the night before we have to present this.